Okay, ready? Guys ready online? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here for the Pinal County Community College District Governing Board Special Meeting of August 12th, 2025. And first, what's it?
26.
26? Did I say 5? 26. You're, okay, first thing we'll do is we'll call to order and note that we got 3 members here present, and we have 2 online, Jerry Walker and Dr. David Ordeon online. So with that, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flags
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Me too.
All right. Do we have anybody for call of the public?
No.
Okay. Nobody signed up for call of the public. All right. We'll go to the next item. Is action items. So do I have? If you have the consent agenda, consider it. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda is approved. Let's go to item number 5, discussion, approval, disapproval of guaranteed max price to early procurement. Dr. Terry Quest.
I'll talk louder
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
since we're on
Please.
the microphone. And so this item is, and you have that sheet in there. So a little bit of background. So this is what we call the GMP number 2. So this is to maintain the proposed construction schedule and meet the substantial completion per discussion with the college, the design build process, we call it the GMP number 2. And the price of the GMP reflects a comprehensive review of our drawing specifications and projected requirements. So this is another process in the whole construction related to our theater that we call CPAC, our theater. And so in the back of that, you do also have a little bit more, a picture, more detailed information in there for you. That kind of gives you some more background on it to review. And I don't know if there's any other questions that you have regarding it?
No.
Any other questions? Online, virtual? Any questions?
I don't know. If I look behind me, I don't know how that happens.
See Dr. Ordeon shaking his head. Member Walker, Vice President, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, we're good. Terry, we're all right. We're good.
Okay.
No questions.
I don't know if I'm up next again or,
And we need to make a motion.
Yeah. Okay, now I need a motion to approve.
So move.
So made. Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Get her done.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye.
Me too.
Motion carries. Approved. All right. Number 6, discussion, approval, disapproval of revision of Central Arizona College's secondary property tax rate. Terry.
good afternoon again. This item was really brought to our attention. Well, first I'll read a little bit of the background for you and then give you a little bit more information. So per the board policy, the board is responsible for approving the college's operating budget in accordance with ARS 15-1461 through 15 and 15-1471. The administration specifically recommends that the governing board approve the revisions of Central Arizona College's secondary property tax rate from 0.1270 to 0.1390, consistent with the recommendations by Pinal County's Treasurer's Office, and to ensure that the secondary property tax is sufficient to meet our required obligations based on their we'll call it the delinquent rate or default rate. So basically, this doesn't it's not something that needs to go outside to be voted by, everybody else. But the idea was we received a call from Pinal County, And the secondary rate is to calculate and bring the revenues in. We usually add your ending cash with whatever cash you generate through the secondary rate, and it's supposed to sufficiently cover your debt for that current year.
Right.
And so our rates and the way we calculate it was correct, but they called us to tell us that they kind of changed, or they have a different rate on delinquency. We use about 3.5% or so rate, which is kind of what they kind of say, but then later they admitted to me, I shouldn't say it that way, said that they actually use a 7% delinquency rate. So that created a little deficiency in the amount of money that we're generating, collecting from the public to meet our obligations. So the total amount was going to be less than 300,000, like 292,000 we were short, and that adjustment would fill in that gap, if you will, in collections. So that's the overall purpose. The budget sheets, the state budget sheets behind, only 2 adjustments need to be made on Schedule A. Typically was the secondary tax rate, the amount, and also, the total amount generated, the levied amount, along with the actual rate on that page, just slightly changed to generate that revenue and that levy that we needed to cover our debt, which was, as I mentioned, just a gap of about 292,000 at the most, maybe 300, play it safe. And this again emphasized was a recommendation of Pinell County Treasurer's Office when they called and told us that. And so they noticed it when they were doing the calculation, and I told them on the phone, well, wait a minute, you're using 7%, we're using 3.5%, so that was what was the issue. So hopefully that background can help you finalize your decision. That's all I have, unless you have any other additional questions.
Any other questions? Virtually, anybody? Dr. Odeon?
Question.
Dr. Walker, or
No question.
Vice President? Okay. All right. We're good. Thank you. Yeah, and I know just so everybody knows, the county's doing that with everybody. They're calling different cities, and everybody, we got a call from Down County. We had to make a site, just verify what they had at the city of Coolidge. And I was with my finance guy before we came out here, just doing exactly that, same thing. So it's pretty common they do that. So this time of year. All right, with that, I can have a motion to approve.
Mr. Chair,
So made.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the item. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. All right, number 7, discussion and approval, disapproval of entering into a contract of employment with CAC President Dr. Lisa Ryan. All right. So everybody's got a copy of the contract, and she signed it already. So any questions? Anything good?
Just a comment, Gilbert, I want to thank you for handling the negotiations on this. I think we got to a really good place in a timely manner here. I appreciate your work on it.
No problem. Thank you for the trust to do that. And so I took it very seriously, and got calls and everything, and talked about it with people we needed to, and members. And so do I have a motion?
Move to execute the contract as soon as possible.
I have motion and second to execute the contract. All
Second.
those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So, she's not here. Great. Congratulations, Dr. Ryan. She'll be leading the college, and we're looking forward to that. And so and you've been working and talking to her, and
we're
so
starting.
we appreciate all your help and helping us during this transition period. We really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And then, so now we have reports.
Okay.
Interim president.
Yes. I'm going to take
Do
this.
some,
too.
go ahead.
Yeah.
They do it from the mic, but we have no mic. No,
Oh, is there a mic here?
no, I'm just,
Oh.
Speak loudly.
yeah.
Good morning. I'll use my theater voice. I've been doing that for the last couple of days during kickoff. So Dr. Karin Hungersum, for the record, you're interim president, at least for a little while longer. And congratulations to the board and to Dr. Lisa Ryan on her appointment. I think she's going to love it here. I really do. This is a very exciting time for Central Arizona College. I did want to give you some highlights, and largely from the kickoff. At the kickoff, every VP and myself did some updates, and then we did sort of what I considered a reflective and fun group activity with several hundred people. The attendance at kickoff was excellent. We ended up doing it, we repeated 2 sessions in this facility in order to accommodate in a nice, comfortable space. And then we also ventured to the Santan campus yesterday and did a session of repeat performance there as well. Oh, Superstition Mountain. I always get those names confused. Thank you, Mike. Okay. But I did want to mention some highlights from those presentations, but please understand the presentations were about an hour, and I'm going to abbreviate this to probably 10 minutes or less. So, first thing that I think needs a mention is that this college received the Innovation in Accessibility Blackboard Catalyst Award.
Wow.
And this award honors institutions that partner with Blackboard and or ally to create more accessible, and when we use the word accessible, we're really trying to help students with disabilities as best we can, and inclusive learning experiences across their campuses. The initiatives here improve usability, removes barriers for students who have disabilities, and strengthens outcomes for all learners. Here's what's really cool about this award. I would like to share a list of some of the competitors. USC, Sam Houston State University, Texas A&M University, University of Texas at El Paso, Fordham University, and the University of South Carolina.
Wow.
So I know, pat ourselves on the back, but mostly to those, the faculty worked on this, certainly the IT department worked on this. This really took a village and a lot of great planning. So congratulations to CAC for this really wonderful award. The other thing that I wanted to share is the board tasked me, and I quote, to discern issues that may have been neglected and establish pathways to successful resolutions. And I have seen a few of those issues in the last month. The one that I think needs not so much a repair as a decision is I tasked the cabinet, which has now been reconvened. The cabinet is, I'm trying to do strengthen shared governance, so now the cabinet will include a faculty representative, support representative, and the MTSA representative, and possibly a student could also be added. I think that would be wonderful when the students return. But I gave them a task, and that is to answer the question, anthology or not anthology? I've heard widespread concerns and complaints about the ERP system. That doesn't mean it needs to be thrown out, but it does mean that it needs to be discussed through the lens of shared governance, researched, and a conclusion needs to be made so that Dr. Ryan can begin to move forward and either keep the system and work better with what we have, or adopt a different ERP system and start that very painful transition, because typically they are very painful transitions that do cost quite a lot of money, millions of dollars, in fact. So the co-chair of the task force is Cameron Sanders and Dustin Maroney. They will be working with some members from cabinet and some members that are not on cabinet, but that use the ERP system anthology every day. And so they have a lot of helpful feedback and information about what's not working and what is working very well. So they will provide a formal recommendation ultimately to the L team and the new president. And my advice is, I hope the L team and the new president take that recommendation, because it's going to be born out of 8 months of work and research and perspectives representing a shared governance model where the appropriate parties who are actually the users of that anthology are invited to participate in the decision. Okay, so that's pretty cool, and I think Dustin and Cameron are going to do a great job. They're already, they're actually excited about this stuff. Whoa. Okay, so student services had a number of positive updates. It's too many to go through here, but I picked out a few highlights that I thought you might be interested in. High school to college outreach. So last year, 317 high schools were visited across 37 partner schools, which led to 7,240 duplicated student interactions. The Student Services processed 3,059 duplicated dual enrollment registrations and 170 course sections of dual enrollment. That's great. Participated in 182 workshops and tabling events. Accessibility services, this one's pretty interesting. In spring of 2026, 340 students were registered with accessibility services. That's compared to 159 students from the previous spring, an increase of 113% in just 1 year. So you can really see how accessibility services are really important to help CAC students succeed. The other thing is that there is a successful Jumpstart program for new students with disabilities, which I think is really an innovative idea. A little bit about enrollments. So enrollments right now are flat with last year for a point-in-time comparison. However, dual enrollments have not yet been processed. So Dustin Maroney, the IR guy who's tracking enrollments, he anticipates that we will begin fall 4 to 5% up in enrollment compared to this time last year, which is great news. And so stay tuned for the final enrollment figures, which I assume will come in near the end of September here, as most colleges. Here are some interesting things though. Enrollment is up 10% in hybrid face-to-face and online courses, up 8% in fully online. Enrollment is up 27% at the Superstition Mountain campus.
Wow.
Isn't that great? I thought that was pretty cool. Here are some areas of interest. Enrollment in nursing up 20, nursing, allied health, and emergency careers up 26%. Well done. Enrollment is up 19% in computers, technology, engineering, and math. Enrollment is up 19% in social behavioral sciences and public service, 15% in visual, fine, and performing arts. That always makes me happy, and wonderful news considering the new theater that's imminent. 13% in business and professional industries, and 11% in education. So this is all really, really great news. Anyway, so stay tuned on enrollment. The other thing that Vice President Jenny Heath announced was she has made a student leadership transition, and I'd like to explain that a little bit. There were 2 deans who left the college relatively unexpectedly with very little notice. And there only are 2 deans in student services. So basically we have a VP, we have 2 deans, and then directors, and then all of the staff who work in student services. Okay. So suddenly, I think it was my second week here, beginning of my second week, 2 deans are going to be gone. So Jenny and I had a conversation. I asked her to just tell us what she would recommend, justify it in a proposal, which she did. She put her proposal in writing. And then I said, and you got to run it by your L team. And you need to start having conversations with student services, which she actually had been in conversation since November of last year on one of the positions. So here's what she decided, and she shared it with the L team. The L team supported it. First, the L team had some questions. The L team had some suggestions. And so here's where it's at now. She thought it was best to wait to fill the student services, I gotta do this correctly, the student services Dean of Student Development. And we all agree with this. It's better to post for a position like that in early spring because most deans or department chairs who are ready to become a dean of student services, they're under contract already. So you really want to have a nice national search, great participation, and you want to give the successful candidate time to transition here with ample notice to the college where they are presumably working at this point in time. So basically that one is on hold. While that is on hold, there are 4 individuals who have agreed to take on the duties of that position for a very short term, meaning no more than a year, hopefully a little bit less. So that's that position. The second position is the one that she has been in conversation with Dean Andrew Long, who is one of the deans who left for a really wonderful opportunity to lead a nonprofit in Colorado, closer to his family. I think it's Colorado. But what they've recommended is don't fill this position. Instead, take two existing staff who are ready to do the work, give them a relatively, not a huge promotion, but a nice promotion. So we will have 2 executive directors, Dr. Veronica Duran and Executive Director Nicole Costales, doing that dean job. Congratulations to both of them. The dean will not be refilled at a significant savings to the college. And the savings that in this year alone, it will be over approximately $70,000 for this year. And on a permanent basis, that is a position that can be reallocated to an area that has greater need. Okay, so that's that one. All right, from instruction, VP Michael Parker had a number of updates, but the one that there are 2 that I thought are really exciting, that really pertain, I think, to your policy and your governance as a board. Michael Parker and his team are beginning to work on a year-long schedule. Okay, and so, well, what is a year-long schedule? Well, it means that students will be able to see a schedule of classes for the entire academic year and in advance so that they can plan their completion tracks and degrees, which tend to be 2-year degrees. Completion tracks will offer all of the classes needed to complete a program, and their goal, and I will see if you can do this because it'd be great if you could, the goal is that they could complete the program on the same days and time at a particular campus. So with a year-long schedule, let's presume I'm a business major and I want to do my work at Santan because I live there. This will allow a student to map that out far in advance so that they can plan accordingly and have a schedule that doesn't involve a lot of commuting, right, as for one advantage. This really helps with guided pathways. This is a wonderful practice that many community colleges have embarked on. It will be part of the CAC Educational Master Plan to increase access through strategic scheduling. And so kudos, this is going to be a huge undertaking. The other thing that I think they'll discuss is how many classes should be face-to-face and how many should be online. The online offerings, I believe you said now 63% of what we're doing is virtual. I think as a board, you need to consider what that means. Is that, from a governance perspective, is that what you think is in the best interest of students? Not what and it's not all about what students want. What do community college learners need? Along with that, Michael Parker is going to begin, VP Parker is going to begin a distance education task force, and the charge is recommend measures for ensuring that Central Arizona College provides consistent quality instruction in all learning modalities. There's a number of ways to do this. The one that I'm most familiar with is a national program that started over a decade, probably 20 years ago, called Quality Matters. It's an outstanding program to ensure high quality distance learning course shells and practices that can be consistently applied to all distance learning courses. The fact that that has not happened here yet is a problem. It's a problem. And it's even a problem that's more exacerbated because now we have AI. A student can tell an AI agent to take their online class for them. There are AI bots. This is a problem all over the country at some of the finest universities, like the Harvards and all the community colleges. We're all grappling with this issue. But generative AI has outpaced our ability to respond. Although I will tell you, many faculty here are thinking about this, they're reflecting on this, they're changing up their practice to try to figure out how can I make sure that this work that I see belongs to the student? How can I make sure that student achievement is really happening in the mind and the skill set of the learner? How can I do that in this world of AI, where a student can log in and say, take my quizzes for me, read my books for me, watch my videos for me, and write my papers for me? That's how far this has gone in the last probably 18 months. Mm-hmm. So as a board, I ask you to think about, what should the balance be for online versus face-to-face? I have my strong opinions about it, but I'm not you, right? So I will keep them to myself for now. But I also know that there's a lot of faculty here who really do want to see students engaging face-to-face in person with their instructors, with their work. And there's also faculty here who want to see more hands-on stuff, right? Let's do more field work. Let's get, if we don't need to spend time lecturing because AI can do it for us, why don't we just go out in the field? And if I'm a geology class, let's go collect some rock samples. Let's go look at the fascinating geology in the state of Arizona. It's beautiful, right? So keep your minds open to that, because I think it is a board discussion. And thank you, VP Michael Parker. These are thoughts he had before I arrived. So you have hired a really strong VP, and I'll be excited to check in with you in 5 years to see what's happening. So anyway, and I'm very excited. The next item is budgets, and Terry did a great job, VP Terry, and we're waiting for the handouts, which that was my bad. But I'm going to give you some handouts, and these were handouts shared with the entire college community. They're very simple, basic budget pie charts, right? That apparently haven't existed for a while. And kudos to Michelle Platt and kudos to VP Terry I asked them to produce these, and they probably worked over a weekend, a couple of weeks ago.
Thank you.
To get them done and double check the work. We brought these to Cabinet. Cabinet gave us some feedback on just the presentation of them, and they've been shared now college-wide. I think a simple pie graphs tell you, here's how the college is spending its money, and then the question that needs to connect to is, how does our mission align with this budget? It's all about mission alignment. And so, why are we here? I think we're here to educate students. We're here to see that students are learning. We want students to not just complete, but we want them to be good at the programs they've completed. So that when they go out and serve our communities, they're doing a fantastic job. That when you go to a hospital, not that you have to go to a hospital, but let's say you end up in a hospital, that you have a nursing graduate who is by your bedside doing a wonderful job for you. And when they learn that you're a board member at CAC, they say, well, I graduated from CAC and it was amazing. You know, that's why
And to me,
budgets need to align with mission. You've asked me to review some of the areas that I think have been neglected. And in all candor, I think some of the budgets and the amount that we're spending have taken away from the area of instruction in particular. I think there needs to be ways to fund more full-time faculty. This college, I don't know, about a year ago, hired a group to come in and do a consulting job. And I read the report that's called the Credo report. One of the most stunning data points in there was the ratio of full-time faculty to staff based on IPEDS comparison. And IPEDS is a national comparison of community colleges similar in size and scope to this one. Is about 63 full-time faculty to 100 staff. At this college, the number was 23 to 100. So there is quite a gap. And considering that there are really 4 campus locations and hopefully a 5th one that will come back to life, thanks to Andrew and Michael's help and the board's support, those college campuses could use a few full-time faculty at them. Being there and present for students, not online faculty, but face-to-face faculty who are going to really be present to bring all 5 campuses alive. All right? So I'm going to continue to look at this with Cabinet. I've already made some difficult changes with the help of Vice President Terry Quest, and we'll see where we go from there. One of the things I loved about Jenny's communication, Vice President Jenny, and sorry she couldn't be here today, but one of the things she said is, this Dean's money, it doesn't necessarily, of course it'd be great if it remained in student services, but if instruction needs it, okay. That's the kind of cooperation you want to see between student services and instruction. That's fantastic. Okay, so that was the big thing. And I think the only other update that I have for you is not an update, but more of a request. At the next official board meeting, I will be requesting that you take a good look at the remote work policy. And by then, after I've collected some data, I might have some recommendations for you on the remote work. I don't have enough data yet, but just a heads up that I will be requesting through your chair that potentially be either a work item, a work team meeting, or an agendized meeting. So stay tuned for that. Any questions?
Good.
No,
Yes.
no questions, but thank you for all the work and to yourself and certainly the entire team here at CAC. This is a refreshing perspective on what you all are doing and a very thorough opportunity for the team to look at it together and to give us enough background to make the kind of decisions that need to be made for the entire campus. So just in this very short period of time, you all have put an incredible amount of work into this. And so thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
always,
very
but this
welcome.
is like, you've ramped it up for yourself. So now
Well, you're very welcome. And I tell you, the leadership team is absolutely outstanding. The combination of, we've got two seasoned people, Angela and Jenny, and Angela is now part of the leadership team, attending the meetings, which is kind of a common college model. She's wonderful. But then really, all the VPs are really great, and they work well together. And I think they would say the same for their team too. I've seen some great work in the last month, and there's some wonderful people here. So I have so much optimism for the focus for this college and where you're going to go next. So, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
looking at also the discussion about the AI and the virtual learning versus, the in-person. My daughter's a junior at ASU Prep, so she does online, but then she has to meet with the professor actually live, and so she can tell that she's learning things that are being taught, and it's her learning, not an AI model that copied it. So I thought I was concerned about that. And I know we brought it up as a board about the AI and the impact on education. So that's a huge issue, you're right. So thank you for bringing that up.
Well, and so if you'll mind another minute.
Yeah.
But I will say that the group activity we did, several of the groups focused on AI, and one of a relatively new members is connected to ASU, and he had some wonderful ideas about how to sort of get past this AI issue. And he suggested, and several faculty did, we really need to see if ASU will help us and partner with us. They've got a lot of good ideas, good technology. But I think the two top ones that came out is, first one is very simple, that faculty need to really clarify expectations with students, that cheating is not okay. And I define cheating as this, that it's not okay to use AI to do this. So that's kind of the first simple thing. But there's also great ideas, and I think that's one of them, is have instructors meet with students when the codes are close enough to do so, and try to better assess learning. The Wall Street Journal reported in 2025 that Blue Book sales were up 80%, because faculty are going back to an old-fashioned pen and Blue Book paper assessment, which is smart. So anyway, thanks again.
Yeah, and thank you for all the staff and all your hard work. We really appreciate it. You're the best. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm jumping in.
Did you have something?
Yes, I do. Because on the agenda, it says setting the table for Dr. Lisa Rao, right?
Yes.
And I just was curious of what that looks like
Okay,
for
thank
you
you.
and she.
Okay, very good. So
Yeah.
I'm actually going to start working on it this weekend, but I've got some calendaring ideas. And for example, I do think we do need to get out to the Arapa campus, and I suggested that VP Parker and I think Andrew should attend too. And so I'm going to work on a detailed schedule, and I'll run it by a board chair and Dr. Bryan. I've got a lot of ideas on this, so I hope that helps. But I also think setting the table for the last month has been identifying some of the big areas that I think needed some help immediately. Yes, and including shared governance, a stronger shared governance model, much greater collaboration between leaders and their direct reports, mean, there's just all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping that when she arrives in just a couple of weeks, that the conditions for her are really very, very positive. And I'm okay handling some of the things that are a little more on the negative side. I'm truly okay with that. So anyway, but I do want to work on a detailed day-to-day schedule. So anyway, good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to the end of the presentation. Is there anything else due to the order?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the budget with the pie charts. That really helps.
And thank you, Michelle Clapp again and Terry for that. They worked on it together and they look great. So.
Good. Yeah, that really helps explain it, as far as you can see it visually.
Right.
And I know those always help, so. Okay. With that, I declare this meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys online.